What up, peoples? I'm just sharing this to a couple of pages. Also got some things to talk about. Probably gonna be up here too long. Excuse me. I'm gonna be here too long. Um, um, just sharing. Make sure. How do Okay. All right. Yeah, you just got a few things to talk about. We got a tour stop this Sunday, so we're gonna get into that a little bit more. For those of you who don't know, didn't get to see the Knicks play because I had the bowl league. So I'm in here watching the Knicks play now. But I got a scenario for y'all coming up later on too. Good question that I was asked earlier by Trig and Reggie. Trig and Fresh today. Thought it was a dope question. Would love to hear y'all opinions on it. Um, Definitely want to also talk about a couple of new releases that we had. I've been seeing a lot of people with that 3.0. 3.0 looking nice. Looks very smooth on the back end. We outside, Jacob. Yeah, that nice. Very smooth. Oops, excuse me. But yeah, we got a I haven't really seen anything else. I heard a couple of people. I heard somebody was throwing the new troublemaker, and it was looking good. Last week, last night at Loganville. Um, what up, Mr. Scott? How you doing? I know we got that release. I've seen the 3.0. One big difference that I do see from the other widows in the past is this one is a lot more angular, more rounded on the back ends. You don't really have that snap that it has, but I like it. I like it. I like the snap. I like it. So I like the rounded. So I'm definitely gonna get me one, probably two. See how it is. I definitely want to. The troublemaker is made for two fingers, two hands. Um, so I kind of, man, I can't keep buying balls, but kind of want to support when they make a bowling ball to fit you. The troublemaker that I do have, the original, I think it is a hybrid. Um, I have it a little bit drilled very strong, so it's more of on the, you know, more of on the sports shot. It's kind of hard to break it out. It's not enough oil to break it out. I get a lot of over and under, and it's very, very strong. on the back end, my troublemaker. I just had it drilled that way. But when I throw it on Tuesday on Route 66 V2, it is a great ball. I can pretty much sit in that ball all night. Um, I've thrown it a couple of times on a sports pattern, and it works very well. I think Robert told me that he heard that the um, troublemaker is like one of the top balls that are used in the on tour and during regional. So that's good. So I'm definitely gonna check out that Pearl, that Deadly Rattler, that Deadly Rattler. I've seen a couple of people throw that. That's a pretty good ball. What up, Clyde? That's a pretty good ball. But since I got y'all on here, I got a question for y'all. Somebody presented this question to me earlier, and I would love to see what y'all response with this is. Hold on, let me before I read it, I need to change one thing. All right, there we go. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's the question. If everyone on the team closes the 10th frame, even the 200 bowler, even the 200 average bowler that only shoots 170 that game, but the person with the highest score, um, and the team loses by 12 pins, whose fault is that? So let me read that again. If everyone on the team closes the 10th frame, even the 200 average bowler that only shoots 170, but the person with the highest score on the team does not, if he does not close out the 10th frame and they lose by 12 points, who does the loss fall on? And my thing is, give y'all my opinion first. My opinion is if you don't close out the 10th frame, it's your fault that we lost. I don't care what you bowl 1 through 9. If the game is on the line in the 10th frame and you don't get the job done and we lost, that loss falls on the person who didn't close out that 10th frame. You got to close out those 10 frames. That's why you get 3 balls. Pause. You get three, you get 3 shots at the 10th frame. And if you at least mark, that's one of my big things that I've always tell myself is at least mark in the 10th frame. Me and my partner, Derek Bowman, we used to have a thing called 29-20, 29-30. I'm sorry. Let's try to get 29-30 in it. And I'm with you. Yes, you lose as a team and everything. I'm with you with that. But if you don't close out the 10th frame, that loss is on you. All right. We don't, you gotta stand on that 10th frame. That 10th frame, oh dang, that's some harsh news to be dropping in the comments, Clyde. What in the world? Sorry to hear that though. Man, I'm gonna call you after this, but that's crazy. But yeah, for those of you that just joined in, the question on the floor is if everyone on the team closes the 10th frame, even the 200 bowler that only shoots 170, but the person with the highest score on the team does not close the 10th frame, and we lose by 12 pins, whose fault does that loss fall on? And my thing is, if you don't close the 10th frame, then that loss falls on you. I don't care how 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 many 10 frames. I mean, how what your score is. If you got a chance to win it with the ball in your hands and you don't succeed, that's on you. That loss does fall. So that's my. I think Trig was saying if the 170 bowler doesn't bowl 170, then we still win. If he bowls his average, we win. And I get that, but you got to understand too, you have the game. The game is winnable. If the game is winnable and the ball is in your hands, that's what you want. You want to be the one taking it big. That's what anchors was for. That's the job of the anchor, is to close the game out. What the game is on the line. Is if you can't close the game in 10 frames, then you shouldn't be anchor. Um, I know me personally on 5-man teams, I do have a problem at times with the 10 frame. Um, and in the 10th frame on Thursdays, on the team on Thursdays, what I ended up doing was I surrendered the anchor position because I didn't feel like I was helping the team out in that spot on a 5-man team. And then one thing about Rob is Rob does a great job of closing the 10th frame. And like Garland just said, everyone has a job to do. Do your job. And in that 10th frame, everyone's job is the least mark. At the least, give me a mark. Give me some bonus, if you want to win. And then we all know as bowlers, the 10th frame is one of the most important frames in the game. I don't care how you're bowling. Just like I tell Marvell, a lot of people, Marvell Battle is one of my guys, and I don't care what he bowls, how well he bowls throughout the day. He's going to close that 10th frame, and that's why it'd be hilarious because I'd be arguing with people with him being an anchor and stuff. I'd be like, I don't care if he bowls a 150, he's going to close that 10th frame every single time, no matter what he bowls. He's going to give me a mark or he's going to give me 3 of them things, So I think that is one of the huge. Jacob said, as an anchor bowler on my team, what he said, as an anchor bowler on my team, if my team puts me in a winning position, if we lose, it's me, not the team. It's the job of the anchor. See, and that's what I like, that attitude. And that's what you have to kind of be as an anchor. You have to be, put me in a position. If you put me in a position, we're going to win. For example, yesterday I bowled Wednesday. I bowled anchor on my Wednesday team. And we needed to spare. I needed a spare and strike for us to win. And I got the spare, which was the mark. And when I needed the strike, and it was funny because I didn't like the way my ball was looking. So I did make a change in the 10th. In that final ball, I ended up striking for us to win. And I had a conversation with the GOAT. If y'all don't know who the GOAT is, Mr. Stevens. And he talked to me one time about having to do that in a tournament. He didn't like how his balls was looking. And then he ended up changing. He ended up changing in the 10th frame on a 300 and then closed out, the 300 with a brand new ball in the 10th frame. So like, to have that confidence, you gotta know your equipment and you gotta trust your stuff. Win in those 10 frames, foundation frames, 9th frame is the setup for the 10th frame closeout. I agree with you too, Garland, because it is very important to have, going in on at least a mark in that 10th frame so you can carry some points over. To me personally, I play, halves, but to me, 7th, 8th, and 9th, 10th frame is, to me, I take those frames very, very personal. Those are, if I feel like if I can strike 7, 8, 9, I like my chances going into the 10th frame for my team. I'm always trying to strike 7, 8, and 9th. So I definitely feel what Garland just said. 9th frame is definitely the setup. And then when you're in the 9th frame, you're also looking at the other team to see who, how many strikes, who closed out, what's going on, going into the 10th frame. That's just as important. Like you said, the setup is just as important as going in the 10th frame. You don't want to go into a 10th frame on the open, because if you do get 30, then that's all you're getting. But if you're going to the 10th frame with a strike or a spare, you're setting your team up for more of a bonus. And that's where I think is important. So for me, if you don't close out that 10th frame and we lose by 12, you best believe people may not be saying it. But they're definitely looking at you like, hey, you got to close those 10 frames. If you don't close those 10 frames, you don't give your team a chance to win. I don't care how well you bowl. You can bowl a 240. And if you open with the game on the line, that 240 don't mean nothing. It's just a personal score after that. So yeah, we lose as a team, but deep down inside, you can act like it don't matter to you, or act like you bowling Excuse me, my mic just went out. There we go. Yeah, you can act like that 10 frame don't mean nothing to you, or you can act like, oh, I scored 240 if he would have did his job. No, the ball was in your court. If the ball is in your court, you have to knock down that 10 frame. That's what you want. That's what we practice for those 10 frame situations. So I don't want to hear, oh, you only bowled a 170. If you would have bowled average, then we wouldn't win. No, we had a chance to win the game. And if we don't win the game because people are on the team are opening in 10 frames, it don't matter what you shoot. You can shoot 270 if you don't mark in the 10th frame and we lose. Your 270 is just as null and void as my 170 if I shoot that during the game. So I think it's always important. I think this was a great conversational piece. I see a lot of people saying they win as a team. And I get that. Don't get, like I said earlier, it's everyone has a job to do on the team. But hey, if you don't close out, hey, what is it for? But yeah, that was a very, very, very good question, I thought. And I wanted to see what you guys' opinion on that was. So, if you watching this later on part of the rewatch game, definitely, leave your answer in the comments, what you think. I think this is a outstanding bowling topic because, like I said, a lot of people earlier at the bowling alley was saying that they feel like it's the person who doesn't bowl his average. And no, Jacob, it's not just a blame. It's just just a personal responsibility, just a curiosity question. Like, I'm not, while we're bowling, I'm not sitting there saying, oh, dang, it's because of you. No, we're not doing that. But it's just like, how do you feel inside? Like, sometimes I know that happened to me. I've opened in the 10th frame and we've lost by less than 10 frames. Less than 10 pins. And I'm upset with myself, And of course, your teammates is going to be there talking about, oh, it's not your fault. We all could have did something. You all could have spared a strike somewhere. We all could find one that we wish we would have had. But at the end of the day, if you don't close out that 10th frame, yeah, none of that matters. The game is on the line. Go win the game. And your job as the first, second, third bowler is just as important in that 10th frame as the anchor bowler. So I definitely want to say that. So, but like I said, I'm gonna leave this question up for a little bit. If you were watching it, make sure you answer the question in the comments. I'm definitely interested in knowing what y'all take is. But my personal opinion is I think it falls on the person who opens. I don't care if you, like I said, how well you shoot. Close the 10th frame so we can win this game. Like shooting a high score and losing is not fun to me. I don't know about others, but it's just not fun. But tonight was last 2 nights of league was a very interesting league. Out here we had a lot of rain. It was very humid, which of course caused the sticky floors. And tonight and last night, with the weather being like this and the approaches being sticky, I think it really separates bowlers. Like, who's just league bowlers and who's tournament bowlers, because there was a lot of complaining tonight. And even if the floors are up, or if the approaches are sticky, you gotta adjust. I was bowling against somebody today who was doing a lot of complaining on the approaches, and his ball just kept going Brooklyn, and he just kept trying to do the same thing, and it was kind of weird because this was a guy who did help my bowling game early. And I'm like, yeah, you have to adjust. And he just would not adjust. And I'm going to keep it real. It's a reason why he's still where he's at when he was first, showing me some things with the bowling and teaching me. And why I'm surpassed him is he's the same bowler as he was. There was no growth. And when you have conditions that just don't meet your norm, That's where you show bowler. That's where you know whether you're growing in your bowling, because no matter where you go, if you're a tournament bowler and you bowl tournaments, you don't know what approach, you don't know what situation you're going to have. I had a situation the other day. I mean, not the other day, a couple of weeks ago when we bowled the brawl at Northside. I bowled at Northside in North Augusta before. I think that's called Northside. But I bowled there at Augusta before. And the approaches was, fine. I ain't have no problems. But this one time I went and the approaches was very slick, which I'm not used to. And then it went from being slick to being sticky. And it got to the point where I just had to put a sneaker on. But it wasn't the complaining about it, because I knew we're here. So I have to do something. I have to do something quick. And even though, my first two games wasn't the best, I was still able to close out. First of all, close out a 10 frame, and then also bowl something in the second and third game. So you as tournament bowlers, you got to adjust, especially when you see bowlers out there. When you see bowlers doing a lot of complaining and things on situations that the house just can't help. It 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 just shows, that you need to work on your game, because one thing about us, and one thing that I also tell my team, that you got to practice all conditions. You don't know if you're going to go to a house and they don't have oil, and then you got to practice going left. You don't know if they're going to be flooded with oil, and you gotta go right. Like, you should be practicing and setting yourself up for every position in any house that you go to. You never know if the conditions are going to be the same or what those conditions are going to be. You just don't know. So to be sitting there complaining to the house about approaches makes no sense, because it's like that for everybody. There's nothing they can do about the weather. I remember one year we went to Vegas for the military tournament, and that it just so happened to rain hard. It rained very hard that year we went to Vegas. And if you ever been to South Point, their bowling alley really is not nowhere near the door. The bowling alley is like 3 floors up, and well, one bowling alley is 1 floor, and another one is like 3 floors up, and it's nowhere near windows. But it was raining outside very hard, and it was still very sticky, and it was nasty because of the humidity. So we had pads in our shoe pads and other things that helped shoe slide, and you have to understand, like, these are the things that you need to have in your bag just in case. You can't just, bowling houses is all different there. The lane techs, you're not going to find a lane tech that operates in more than one house. It's not, I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, but it's rare, the Conyers guy, God, I always forget his name, that's out here, who's at the bowling alley at the home of the Outsiders, AMF American Lanes, in Conyers, Georgia's. I think his name is Andrew, if I'm not mistaken. Andrew does a great job for Bolero. Definitely my vote for Lane Tech of the Year, with a close second with Mike and Pat. But Andrew is a maestro with this. And there's some things that they do in Conyers to prepare. Andrew, he knows what the weather is going to be like. So Andrew will either run the fans real high or something, and then he lets people know. Like, Andrew's a great, at trying to prepare, but it's still nothing he can do with the humidity in there. So people crying about the approaches, hey, it's like that for everybody. So this one guy, he just kept going Brooklyn. And I'm like, all right, if you're going to keep going Brooklyn and not make an adjustment, there's no need to complain about the approaches. Like, everybody is bowling on this approach. Shout out to Dana. Dana shot 299 on that sticky approach. It's everybody has a job to do. There's no need to complain about it. Go in your bag with the necessary things you should have, and adjust to it. Like as a bowler, you should have every slide all the way from what 2 through 12, I think it is, or and you should have every heel in your bag. I keep them in my bag, and a lot of times, of course, you could tell your team, "Hey, y'all need to go and buy this." They don't listen, but I have it in my bag to help out my teammates and stuff like that, or they just may not have that one, or it may not work for their shoe. But to sit there and complain about the approaches, we know it's muggy. It happens every year. Every year it rains. Every year is humid in some part of the year. We're going to have sticky approaches. You're going to have approaches that's too slick. What they I think is Biloxi. Biloxi is one they said they have it like that on purpose. I'm not. I don't have a real slide. I like to plant, so I have a choice. I've never bowled at Biloxi, and that's because I've heard about how those approaches are. So I'm thinking about going now because I think I have the necessary stuff that I can take with me so I can be successful there. But if I don't have if I don't have that equipment with me, then there's no need for me to complain because there are things you can buy to help with certain things. You want to slide. I've seen people put socks on their shoes. There's plenty of things you can do other than complaining about Mother Nature with nothing no one in the bowling alley can do. So I definitely everybody's saying Biloxi is definitely ice, and you have to adjust to it. It's no different from it being sticky. It's just the opposite approach. I mean, so it was a lot of complaining about the approach tonight, and it happens. It's the weather. Like you can wipe alcohol all you want on it, but it is not going to help. Somebody tried to do that yesterday. Like, hey, go ahead. It's going to dry right up. It's humid in here. So we have to figure out. We have to just prepare and practice, man. Stop going to practice and just being comfortable. Oh, I shot this in practice. Who cares? Who cares? Like to shoot. So now, if you're talking about improvement, hey, I tried something new and I shot this. That's a little different. I give you more leeway with that because at least then you're coming out your comfort zone. But you got to be comfortable with your approach. You have to be. I mean, you have to be comfortable with playing every zone, no matter where the house is. If your strong suit is playing right, like myself, I've started playing a lot more left at times or looking to be in a position where I can play left so I can work on that and it be comfortable to me. I want to keep practicing going left until it's comfortable to me. Till when I go in league and I see the shot, i.e., for example, Austell. I'm slowly starting to get Austell as everybody know. That's a house that's woo. It's an interesting house. Yeah, like and one thing about Austell is you have to kind of have weak equipment, and I see a lot of rhinos. I see a lot of tropical surges in Austell, and those type of balls that at Austell works best on Sundays during the 5-man team because of the amount of people on the lanes and the low volume of oil they put on. So I'm slowly starting to get comfortable and getting excited about bowling at Austell just because of the work I've been putting in to kind of get that shot down. But like I said, when it's humid like it was these last 2 days, those centers can't really do nothing about the approaches. And it happens every year. We go through the same thing every single year. People complain about the weather. Like, like we knew. And it was funny because I think I was talking to Dana on the phone and he's like, yeah, it's humid out there. It's gonna get hot. So them approaches gonna get sticky. So like if you prepare for those things and you have to be prepared. Like y'all know me, I've said it way too many times. We have to keep practicing what you're not comfortable at. Like a lot of people, yeah, you pot bowl, But I hate to say it, but I'm gonna keep saying it. Part of practicing to improving your game is also getting out there at tournaments. A lot of the times, these conditions I faced them one time, and then I go in the pro shop and prepare for those conditions. Like that time when we went to that time we went to Vegas, and it was like that. I wasn't prepared, but I bet you the next time we ended up bowling, I want to say in Florida, in Pensacola area, we bowled in some shoebox for the SBC. I can't remember. I think it was Pensacola, but it was where the team house was, and it was, oh my gosh, it was muggy as I don't know what in there, and it was just it was small, it was humid. The them lanes, it when I tell you a shoebox, I mean like it was like 20 something 20, I think it was 24 lanes of and it was about as small as my living room. Like it was nowhere to walk. Um, it felt like the tournament office was bigger than was bigger than the lanes, bigger than the bowling center. But that's because I was kind of prepared when we went in there because of what happened before. So when it happened before, I had everything in my shoe. I mean, I had everything in my bag prepared for it. So when I see it in league, it's like, okay, I'm good. End up shooting 686 tonight. Um, but I was prepared for the humidity, you know. And I keep telling y'all, go to tournaments. That's where you're gonna find certain things. And the same guy who I was telling you about that was complaining about the approaches, he made a comment, and I was like, dude, if you go to tournaments, you might see the same thing. And he said, I don't any tournament I've ever been to, I don't see approaches like this. I was like, well, you ain't been to enough tournaments. You know, you go to enough tournaments, you're gonna see every single and still be seeing new possibilities that could happen. You know, like so get out there, man. If you seriously want to improve your game, get out to these tournaments, start learning, get out, start playing different houses, different shots. Stop practicing in the same house. Go to these tournaments. Excuse me. Go to these tournaments. There's plenty of tournament directors out there. Ty Tillery does great tournaments. So you guys, if you're out here, there's plenty of tournaments in North and South Carolina that are easily day trips where you can go and come back and learn, you know, different houses, learn about yourself. Like it's not always about winning the tournament. You know, of course, yes, you want to bowl good to win, but I want to bowl good to be better than I was the next time. And the best way to do that is playing against top competition. Yes, pot bowling. Some people say top bowling helps them. I mean, pot bowling, excuse me. Some people say pot bowling helps them. You know, I'm not a fan of using pot bowling as practice, but I'm tournaments, you know, I've definitely can't lie, sat there and shot terrible during a tournament. And then used the last two games to work on something because I'm not going to be able to be in that atmosphere to work on it ever again. So I might as well work on it when I know I'm not going to cash in the tournament. If I do bowl, you know, bowl bad, but you have to get yourself out there if you want to elevate your game. You're not going to elevate your game if you're just sitting at home league bowling. You know, bowling the same thing. I think me and Buffy had a conversation about that earlier today. Everybody's talking about, oh, they, you know, they're trying to be a better bowler, and the only time you see them in the bowling alley is league. Like, yo, and they're wondering why you can't break through, why you're a 190 bowler and you just can't break through to be a 200 average bowler to lead yourself to end up being a 220 and up bowler. Like it is imperative that we learn different zones of the house. My good friend Juanita, she on Tuesdays I do a sports shot at Conyers, and she's the female sub for me. So during that, you know, I always invite her out to tell her, hey, come on out here. learn how to play different zones, and it's a and she's receptive to it, Yes, we don't bowl that well. And even me, I'm just now starting to understand and get those lanes. So I'm not, where I want to be far as that just yet, but being out there, when I see certain things, like for example, this last time I was in Vegas, the shot was pretty much like last year's Tuesday shot for me. So with that shot being like that, and me being familiar with it, I was able to, to adjust and score well. It's unlike if I just bowl at one house. I'm not. How can you expect to get better? Because every house is not the same. You're not going to see the same thing. Tonight is a prime example. Like, those we have house bowlers, and the scores wasn't that high today. But tournament bowlers bowled well, and it was funny because today of all days, you saw the difference between a league bowler and a house bowler because there was a condition on the floor that man didn't make. It came from the weather, and with the weather being as it is, you have to adjust. You have to adjust. There's nothing anyone can do if the approaches are sticky due to the weather being humid. You have to learn how to adjust. And if you, like I said, if you bowled at tournaments before, you bowl a lot of tournaments. We've been places where it rained and we had to adjust. So I think that is another huge, part of it. Speaking of off I got a funny story for you. So um Marvell decides to put me at anchor for all style. So Marvell does a little lineup changes from time to time to try to kind of change the mood of the team and try to motivate people. And I dig it. I like the fact that he does that because it does make league a little bit more fun, a little bit more interesting. It makes you kind of strive when he be like, all right, I'm putting you at anchor today. You bowled good these last couple of weeks. So kind of like made me step my game up, which I did bowl well as the anchor, but I did fuck some shit up that game one. So game one, it's a close game. What happened? Oh, so it's a close game. I'm anchor, and I believe the game is. I think we're up. I believe up by two or something like that. I believe so. We're up by two going into me and the anchor bowling. Me and the other teams anchor bowling. So he bowls first, and he leaves a 6-10. No, he leaves. Yeah. He leaves 6-10 as he bowls, right? So when I look up, I go to bowl and I bowl and I shoot a 7-10 first ball. So when I shoot the 7-10, I'm distraught. I'm pissed. I don't know if you ever shot a 7-10 in the 10th frame, but when you shoot a 7-10 in the 10th frame, you just want to hurry up and throw that last ball so you go put your head between your legs and hide somewhere. So I'm waiting on him, and I don't know what he's doing, but he's joking with the people. Everybody see I shot a 7-10, and you hear the oh, so I'm thinking we lost. And this joker goes up and he chops the 7-10. I mean, he chops the 6-10. So when I looked up there, we were up by two. What I didn't notice was that he was on a strike. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was on a strike. So when I looked up there and we were up two, I didn't look back up there after he chopped the 6-10. I'm just like, oh, we won by 1 point. Hey, we were up two when I left the 7-10. So, hey, we're up. We're about to win this game. Proceed to try to throw the hell out of the ball, and I miss everything completely. And everybody just goes, oh my God, I can't believe he did that. And I'm looking up like, what are y'all, what happened? I'm thinking they talking about another lane. Everybody looking at me was like, y'all just tied. And I'm like, tied? How did we tie? He was like, you said y'all was only up by one. I said, I looked up there, we were up by two. But he was on a strike, and I did not notice that. And my dumbass just chucked the ball, and we ended up tying with them. When if I could have just shot at the 7 or the 10 pin, we would have won by one. Man, you want to talk about ups, not embarrassed that you let your team down like that the day Marvell makes you an anchor? When I tell you feelings hurt, like just looking at my team, everybody started moving their cup away from mine. I was like, dang, it's like that, everybody I was like, man, I had no idea we had a chance to, I thought we already had it won. I honestly did. So that thing, it hurt. That that hurt. That was an embarrassing moment. And then it was crazy because I don't know why everybody was just watching our pair. It was the first game. Nobody was, shooting no honor scores, so which was very, very weird that anybody was even watching. But it was like the whole bowling alley, people who was walking past, everybody was like, dang, Trail, dang, you cost your team like that? Dang. I was like, man, I just had to put my head down. I was like, man, anybody outside? Because I want to be by myself, boy. It was like one of those old Southwest commercials. Want to get away? That's exactly what it was like. But it was definitely embarrassing. Definitely a learning to make sure before I bowl to go up there and look at to make sure that I got the score right, even if I think I got it right. Because I honestly did think we were only. I thought we were up one and we were going to win, and so it was highly embarrassing. Highly embarrassing. But but yeah, I just want to let you guys know, May 18th, AMF Conyers, AMF American Lanes, May 19th, another big tournament. We're going to be looking to have that flyer out in the next probably next week, to have that flyer out so we can go ahead and start getting entries in for that. It is going to be a big money tournament. It is not going to be a guaranteed. I mean, I'm sorry, it's going to be a guaranteed, but it is not going to be a guaranteed based off entries. The prize fund for first place will be automatically guaranteed for our tournament, on May 18th. So we'll go ahead and mark your calendars for May 18th. Also, if you're in the Georgia area, I am going to try to talk with the management over there at Little Burn. I want to start back up the pot bowling games that we did have, that I did host during that one holiday period. I want to go ahead and bring it back on a normal basis, maybe like twice a month. We do it like the first and the third month. First and the third, maybe Friday and Saturday of each month, or first and the third Saturday of each month. Last time we did it like around 8 o'clock p.m. And we had some great turnouts. We had some great bowlers. We had some young bowlers that came through. How we normally did it was we did $20 a game. Everybody puts $20 a game. You pay your own. You pay your own freaking lineage. But everybody pays $20 a game. That's the pot. And if you want to do any side bets or anything like that, then that is on you. You can side bet with whoever you want to. But I am looking to bring back those pot bowling games. I think that will be a way to start getting some of these guys who be pot bowling with, Joe Smo, who don't bowl league, and you be trying to pot bowl with them. Then let me bring some killers out here. Let me bring some killers out here so we can get those pot bowling games up and running, to help us prepare for tournaments. I I really want to see, now that I'm thinking about it, I want to see about um starting the pot bowling game. Maybe do different houses. Do one house Conyers, do Lil Burn, 1 month do Delk. They allow it. I like that. That way, it's at different houses. We ain't at the same house. I like. Yeah. I think I'm gonna work on doing that. I'm gonna definitely see about getting that started. So be on the lookout for that in the upcoming months. I'm probably gonna start that. Let's say maybe March. We'll look to get that started so we can set that in stone in March. But once again, for the people who just joined, yeah. You know what? Also, too, Jacob, I'm glad you said that. Um, Jacob said there's a lot of people running from him. They have something up north called the call out matches, and we talked about that. Me and Leonard, um, and Clyde, we talked about. I know, no. I think it was Ek was the one that brought it up to me. And I would love to start doing that, like call out matches. Like, hey, if you want to battle somebody, call them out, make it known, make it public. Set a price, and if the person agrees, y'all lace them up, get on the lane, best out of whatever. Put a low price up. You know, let's get that. Let's get that going. Let's get the competitiveness back into bowling around here. Yes, tournaments. Like I just said, tournaments is the best place for you to get that competitive nick. But let's get it. Let iron sharpen iron. I want to see some of these big name, these big people go at it too. Like, don't be just trying to, beat on a little foot. Like, yo, if you a 220 bowler, let me know who the best 220 bowler out here. You a 230 bowler, let me know who the best 230 bowler out here. I don't want to see y'all just teaming up. Now I want to see y'all going after each other net. Like that's what we do. Every time me and Dana go in practice, our last game is all right, dog. Practice is up. Now it's me and you. Man on man. I think that's something that me and him started doing in practice to you still need that competitive nature. That's why I said it's hard to practice that competitiveness, one on, at league. So the best place is tournaments and let's start doing some call out matches. Like let's start, I'm still waiting on something to bring his six out there to Lil Burn. I saw a couple of them tonight, but yo, let's get the competitiveness back in here, man. Let's get the competitive. If you're just now joining, the question of the night was if everyone on the team closes the 10th frame, even the 200 bowler that only shoots 170, but the person with the highest score does not close out the 10th frame and they lose by 12 points, who does that loss fall on? It's a great question asked by Fresh. Him and Trig was going at it earlier about that question because they were bowling teams. They were pop bowling at Lil Burn tonight. So it was a great night. It was a great night of bowling. It was fun. It's kind of chill, kind of quiet. A lot of people, a lot of complaining over the approaches, but hey, what can you do? What can you do about it? I know a lot of y'all see my eyes that keep darting up. I'm watching my Knicks beat the hell out of the defending champion Denver Nuggets as we have beat them 3 straight times, dating back to last season, 4 straight times going back to the season before last. So go Knicks. But yeah, I think a lot of things that's happened in the bowling world over the last, a lot of new equipment being released. Um, okay. See, this the energy I like. This the energy I like. Y'all see it on the screen. Who coming at him? That's the energy I like to see. Let me see who's online. I know a couple of y'all online. Who online? Let me come on. Yeah, I see it. It's a couple of y'all online. That's the energy I like to see. Jacob said he tired of people running from him. He said, let it be known he don't care if they 220 and up. anywhere in Georgia. Let the competition begin. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Bring that competition out. Bring them call out matches back. Yeah, the belt series is cool. I like the belt series though. I can't even lie. But let's bring out some of these call out matches out here in the South. Like we don't need stop like we don't need people from the North to do things the same thing. We have plenty of people that could do it. We just got to step up and do it. Like you see what he said. He said, he don't care any 220 bowler and up anywhere in Georgia. He said, stop running from him. I see a couple of people in here. He said, stop running from him. But yeah, I think the competitive nature in bowling definitely needs to come back. It's too much hand holding. It's too many teaming up. Like y'all worse than LeBron. I got you, Jacob. I'm gonna get you right. Yeah, I'm gonna get you right, Jacob. I got you. But I'm tired of the whole hand holding, people, trying to rev up their team. And don't get me wrong, everybody want the best team to win in league. I just, I'm bowling with my team. A lot of times, when you see me in league or something, I'm bowling with my team. I'm bowling with the outsiders. But I'm gonna continue to do that. But except for my Monday team, I like them, even though I tried to get them on the outsiders and they went to DSL and broke my heart. Cassandra Lewis, let you know now. Cassandra Lewis broke my heart by going to DSL. But it's all good. I'll cry in the car. Big tour stop coming up Sunday, first position round for a lot of divisions. I'm looking forward to it. We got DSL in Critical Role. We got Outsiders in High Caliber. Got Top Shelf and Southern Asylum. And then we got Tri-City and Top Shelf Stunners. I like the lineups. I like the matchups. It shows a lot. High Caliber and DSL. DSL bowls well out of Augusta, but High Caliber wants to make a statement to say that they're here. They don't care. But DSL wants to show they're still the big dogs. They still the big dogs. I like that matchup. You got us and High Caliber. I think that's the battle of who wants to step up as the big dog, who wants to be known as a big dog. I think that's where the matchup between us and High Caliber. We think we can beat them. They think they can beat us. We think, I think our best can beat their best, and they think their best could beat our best. It's brewing to be a pretty decent rivalry. I don't think it's a rivalry just yet, but depending on what happens Sunday, it can turn into one. Because who knows? I think it's a possibility we may face each other at the next position round. The first matchup between us was a little controversy, but we ended up in a 2020 tie with them being up by a lot of sticks, I'm sorry, with them being up by a lot of pins. I think they ended up beating us by like 400 pins, but it was ended in a 2020 tie. The first game for us was brutal, but that's a matchup of who's gonna take the next leap. I think everyone in our division, if you ask, who's the better team, High Caliber or the Outsiders, I honestly think, if you ask everybody, it'll end up being split. If they're being honest. But I also think with us, we're looking to take the next step and be known as an elite team, and so is High Caliber, especially with them coming off of the Savages. But I think the next matchup, same situation. I think Full Throttle, Southern Asylum. I believe their matchup is an interesting one too, because it's which team. Southern Asylum. We see they be putting up big points, big a lot of pins. I think they're number one in pinfall in our division right now. So they definitely could strike a lot. And I believe they faced each other already. And I believe High Caliber beat. Um, Let me take a look. I believe High Caliber beat. They beat. I'm sorry. I mean, I think Southern Asylum has beat that. Let me take a look at this and see. Um, Trying to see. Looking for Full Throttle and Southern Asylum. Oh, they haven't played each other yet this year. Southern Asylum has not played Full Throttle this year. Nope. So this is their first matchup. That this is going to be an interesting one. So I think Southern Asylum is a team that is ready to take the next step. And Full Throttle came out the gate wanting to be, as knowing being in their shoes before, being the new person on the block and the new team, you want to, set everything up early. You want to establish yourself early. You don't want nobody to be out here, taking y'all for a joke. So for Full Throttle, I know that's kind of the mood they're on. They want to know, hey, we're a team to be reckoned with, and everybody should be scared. And Southern Asylum is a team that's been here before, and they're just like I will compare them to us and High Caliber about just taking that next level. They've, like I said, High Caliber has put up some great points. They have put up some great scores. I'm sorry, not High Caliber, Southern Asylum. They have put up some great scores. They put up a lot of points, but sometimes that just doesn't equate to wins. While they're sitting in the middle of the pack, but I mean, they're not in a bad position. Don't get it wrong by a long shot just because they're sitting in the middle of the pack. There's nothing, there's. Let me see how many points they have. Let me see. Okay, so yeah. So Southern Asylum is only 4 points out of the playoffs. Which they're sitting right there. I think they, they're another team just like the Outsiders and High Caliber. Are they going to take that step? Are their guys committed enough to understand what's at stake? And I think that is something all our teams face. Are we ready? I say the same thing about us. Are we ready to take that next step and be serious? Because of course, in the group chats, we talk a lot in those group chats, but the group chat don't mean nothing if we don't perform out on the lanes. And I just speaking from experience, I know these, everybody's looking at that and want to be taken serious. Southern Asylum is also the second highest ranking team, according to a lot of people's, according to Jason Hale's top standings. A lot of people in around the UBA are very high on Southern Asylum. But is Southern Asylum going to let down their fans, or are they going to take that next step? And they do have Full Throttle, a brand new team that is looking to, say, hey, we're here. They had a high start and they're starting to fizzle out a little bit um, toward the mid of the season. But, we still have a long way to go. This is, the first position round. We still have a long season ahead of us. But don't get it twisted. These few weeks are definitely going to this tour stop here and these next couple of stops is going to pretty much set the tone for the playoffs. It's going to tell which teams are ready to make the next step, and it's going to pretty much start shaping and battling in position. I think after this tour stop, 1 and 3, it's going to be tough because turn around on February 11th and the outsiders have critical role. If both of us come up on top, um, that could be a team of two playoff teams, or two teams that just faced each other in the wrong part of the season. A loss there could just be bad for any one of our teams, depending on the situation. So these next two tour stops are big, and let me see. Try to map out what the lineup is for the next tour stop on our division. But before I get into that, let me also speak on like now we have the top shelf stunners. We have the top shelf stunners, and we also have Tri City, two new teams that are doing very well. They are, I think they both. Well, I don't think Top Shelf really have any bad losses. They just have a lot of losses, um, which they just won their first tour stop. So maybe that winning mentality, that winning taste would start getting addictive, and they start being a little bit more serious, and and learning a little bit better. I haven't talked to Freddie in a while about the UBA, but definitely, I think um, he is going to, definitely, be. I think he's definitely going to be on the road, to definitely. How can I put this? I'm trying to find the right words to put it, but I think Freddie and them is going to going forward, especially next year. I think once they figure it out, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with because, like I said, when you start figuring out the UBA, you start kind of knowing how to build your team. You start knowing how to recruit. You start having a idea of what you're looking for, as a team. So what kind of team are you looking to build? Are you looking to build top dominant bowlers? Are you looking to build a fun team who we could just get along with? Are you looking to build, medium average bowlers? Or are you looking to build a handicap team where you have people chase the handicap? So I think Tri City and Top Shelf have a decision to make based off of their identity. And I think once they establish what kind of identity they want to be, I think those teams will take the division is bright for us, man. It's going to be for years to come. This division is going to be competitive. It is. We have great teams going into them. I think full throttle. I think being the fact that how they had the taste of victory early and often, I think it um, kind of didn't fan out to their advantage because they didn't really play anybody early. And they kind of got too relaxed, I think. But I think now they're starting to understand, like, okay, all right, we got punched in the mouth a couple of times, especially that loss they took to High Caliber in their home house. I think they saw that there, like, okay, we got punch in our mouth. We got to take this a little bit serious, And even though I see they went and got Derek Jones, which is a great pickup. Um, I think no, I disagree, Lavinus. I think you just haven't branched out yet. Lavina said, I'm new to UBA and don't see a lot of women bowling. It seems like the men is picked to bowl. Is that the norm? No, there are some great females in the UBA. Like I tell us, the outsiders, is we have to start going to these events. The events is where you do see it. I wouldn't. One thing about the lineup as an owner, I will tell you, don't look at how many times you're bowling. Look at who you're bowling. Who you're bowling will tell a lot about, and when you're bowling. Far as like if you're, hey man, I need a bowler. You're probably not that guy on the team. Like, hey guys, somebody called out. Can you please fill in? If you're always that guy, and you don't really have a high average, then you're the I know he's available guy. But if you're going against the top teams, and then you also got to be careful with the way the averages is. I'm not going to really detail that on here. I'll talk to you one-on-one about how the averages work. But just to give you kind of like an idea, not how the averages work. I don't want to say it like that, but sometimes you can bowl yourself too well out of a lineup. We had a situation with JoJo when he first started. He was a 174 bowler, and as he got better, he shot. I think his first couple of tour stops, he shot damn near 700, and his average was going up. So we couldn't bowl JoJo as much as we wanted to because he was bowling too good, or his average was going to roll up. I think it's now after 6 games, your average goes up now. I think, or if it may be still 9. So you can bowl too well and bowl yourself out of the lineup, but that's a conversation that your whoever's doing your lineups or your team owner should be discussing with you. But no, we're gonna like you're like and I'll go ahead and say it, Venus. Venus, you're one of the ones that we kind of keep under wraps because it's almost like you got to have a poker face kind of when you're dealing these lineups. You don't really want people to know what your lineup is, or know what your game plan always is. So it is still 9. So yeah, you could bowl your first 2 store stops. You average, 1 something, and you bowl a 700. Your next 2 tour stops, your first 2 tour stops, you're not bowling. I can tell you, you're probably not bowling to a position round, or you're not bowling until we face somebody that we really need to beat, and we know your sticks is going to help. So it's not always a bad thing that you're not in the lineup. Sometimes you're too good to put in the lineup because we have to save you for a playoff game. We have to save you for a DSL. We have to save you for a critical role or something like that. So you have to understand, yeah. So she's one of the ones that when I be having the officer meetings, we speak. Your name gets brought up a lot, um, along with Darcy Evans, along with Tony McQuarrie, along with Tarika Johnson. Y'all names get brought up a lot. I got to call a couple of females that we have that we like, but there's a lot. There's some great female bowlers, so we definitely need to get you to go to a couple of more events so you can see that. Like, I just came back from Charlotte at the draft. It's it was a lot of females, great female bowlers out there. The South has, oh my gosh. I think my last show I talked about a lot of the female bowlers out in this area that gets the bowl. And then they just had a women's regional out there in Myrtle Beach, I think it was. Um, was it Myrtle Beach? Um, but yeah, she's you're definitely one, and then that's why I also tell y'all to watch y'all group chats, man, because a lot of people who I see later, I put in it's very hard when you have it's very hard when you have a kind of a big roster or a roster of 30 or more people to touch everybody. That's why those group chats are important. That's why your owners put those group chats in there. If you can't check it every day, you should be checking your group chats like every other day because there's information, there's events. And if you're not in these group chats or in your group's Facebook page, you need to let your owners know. I just had a bowler who I just found out he wasn't in the group chat because I asked him when I saw him, hey man, why when we put out these events, why you don't never go? He's like, oh, I don't see him. I can't go to 30 people one on one. It's tough. You know, it's it's tough to go through that many people and touch them. That's why those group chats are important. Those informations. That's why even the region page, the Deep South page, those pages are important because if you are on if you're in those pages and you see events, that's how you know when events are coming up through those pages, staying informed. So if you see, hey, got a phone call earlier today, Tarika. Hey, I want to go and stay in your lane. All right, let me get the information for you. Let me show you how to do the pay tabs and everything. Make sure that you are on UBA. Make sure y'all registered on UBABowling.com. Everybody who's part of the UBA should have an account. Maul put it several times. You should have an account on UBA.com, UBABowling.com. You should have an account set up, especially if you do events or plan on doing events later. He said it will affect your pay. So those are avenues where if you want to bowl more, those are your chances because the information is on those, and the people that are on those on your team, they're reaching out to their owners and getting involved in those because you got to understand how much is on your owner's shoulders. There's a lot we have to do, a lot of personalities, a lot of babysitting. I hate that. Call a spade a spade. A lot of hand holding. It's a lot, man, because all people want to do is show up and bowl, and they don't want to read. They don't want to inform themselves, and I can get it, but somebody has to do it. If you don't want to do it, somebody has to do it for the team, and if no one is doing it for the team, then the team just falls apart. But yeah, I just wanted to find what I was looking for was I'm looking for the next matchups so we can see how on the February 11th matchup, which will be in Roswell, Georgia for the Deep South. I'm looking for looking for that schedule because I know that was a random wheel. And I think Casey put it out at week 3. So I'm just looking for that schedule. Where is it? That's not it. Good grief. Okay, here it is. So Roswell. So yeah, this is important. So you got um you got the 4 and 5 matchup, which is High Caliber versus Southern Asylum. Um Southern Asylum is 4 points out of the playoffs. Full Throttle, if the playoffs ended today, they're 4 points out of the playoffs. And Full Throttle is 10 points out of the playoffs. So Southern Asylum is at 122 and Full Throttle is at 116. That matchup is a very important matchup if the guys want to make a playoff push, because at the next stop on February 11th, um, their their next stop February 11th, Southern Asylum has DSL at Roswell, and Full Throttle has Tri City Reapers. So that that's a big difference. If I think, if I'm not mistaken, Full Throttle beat Tri City in the second tour stop. I think that was 38-2 at Lowburn. So Full Throttle could, with not counting Top Shelf Reapers out, but let's say it's the scenario where Southern Asylum wins. I'm sorry, Southern Asylum falls to Full Throttle, and Full Throttle takes another big leap by beating Tri City. Because one thing I will say about Full Throttle, and one thing you have to do in the UBA, is you have to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And like I said, once again, no disrespect to Tri City, but I'm only going based off of your record. And you have to beat the teams that you feel like you should beat. You have to beat them. If you feel like you should beat Southern Asylum, then you need to go out there and put out a lineup that's going to beat them, and vice versa for Southern Asylum, because they have DSL coming up next. Now, it could be a huge swing if, let's say Southern Asylum wins, which they're my prediction to win. That matchup between Full Throttle. Now they have DSL next. Now let's say they win big against Full Throttle, and then they face DSL the next one and have a close matchup that can go either way with DSL, just like they just did the last time they faced each other. The first time they faced DSL, they took a loss, which was very, very close. No, I think they did. Hey, Rich, did y'all beat DSL at Forest Park, or did y'all lose? Let me see if I still have that score. Let me see. So yeah, Southern Asylum fell to DSL 26-14 in a close one by 9 pins. Ooh. It was a 9-pin difference. That's a 9-pin. They could have went either way. So even if, if they lose, if they beat Full Throttle, pretty handedly, and then they take on DSL, let's just say they lose another close one to DSL, they're still in great position because of their win. Now, what they can't afford to do is lose the Full Throttle and then turn around and lose to DSL, because then they're going to give themselves a harder road to come through to get to the playoffs. So that this is why these position rounds are so important, because they're going to set the tone for the rest of the season, especially this one being the first position round. The same thing for, you can say the same thing about us and Critical Role, because we have a matchup with Critical Role at the stop. At Roswell, and we both have tough matchups coming up, with us having Full Throttle. With us having High Caliber, and Critical Role having DSL. This could make or break our season. Critical Role has been on a little bit of a slide, and with that slide that they've been on, it could be, they take a tough loss. It could be a gut wrenching feeling, because Leonard is on here, and me and him talk a lot, and he'll tell you a lot of times when your team is sliding down, participation gets lower and lower. So if you're on a team that's always winning, then hey, I want to bowl, you're gonna have plenty of people that want to bowl all the time. Hey, I want to bowl. I want to bowl. I want to bowl. But when y'all start sliding down, we all know participation could get real, real low. And that's the scary part. You always want to keep your team as an owner. That's the scary part. You always want to keep your team going. You always want to keep your team up there because, if they're not, if you're sliding and you're at the bottom, it's hard to get 9 bowlers in there, 9 quality bowlers, in there. If as an owner, like when your team ain't doing good and you sliding, and they're W coming to town, tie throwing tournaments, shot makers, hot dog. It's hard to get people to come to shortstops when that situation happens. So you got to you have to keep your team at the top and engaged. Because if you don't, shoot. And then, then you got to hope you got a team full of rich Moes. Hey, win, lose, or draw, I'm dying on my sword. I'm riding with my team. That's the kind of bowlers you need, man. That what Rich just said. This is the kind of, like, if you want to bowl, if you don't think you bowl enough, this is the kind of mentality you have to have. Win, lose, or draw. Like, put me in the game, coach. Coach, if I'm in the lineup, we winning. And we be like, I don't care what the situation is. I don't care who we bowling. Like, and I ain't even gonna lie to you. The people that are paying in my asses, I do kind of reward them a little bit more. I find them places to bowl. I find them positions where I can put them in. And that's because I know you want to be there. And it's not hard, it's not hard to have team spirit, to team heart. Like, at the end of the day, this is more of a team than league. I will say that, this is more of a team than league. And then you have to understand, like, you want to be in that position. So Critical Roles is in the same boat as the Outsiders. Like, we're right there in the playoff hunt. If the playoffs ended today, if the playoffs started today, we're both would be in. But unfortunately, they don't. They don't start for another 4 months. So we what is this, stop number 7? Yeah, this is stop number 7. So, like, we got some running to do. We take a bad loss to High Caliber. The Outsiders take a bad loss to High Caliber, and then got Critical Role next in Roswell, and then take another big loss. Shoot, it's gonna be scary times, So we got to fight. The way our division is from 1 through 6 is tough. And then I don't hate to say it, but even 7 and 8 is not out of it. Like, they're not out of it. They're 20 points or 30 points away from third. That could be an easy swing, somewhere. So, and so we got Dirty South and Southern, and this is the next tour stop. We got Dirty South, DSL versus Southern Asylum, Top Shelf versus High Caliber, Full Throttle versus Tri-City, and Critical Role versus the Outsiders. And it's the same thing. Like, you have Southern Asylum, High Caliber. I can't stress it. The Outsiders cannot sleep on High Caliber. We have to show up and bowl no matter what lineup is out there. We have to stay positive and understand the lineup and understand what we're facing. High Caliber got Top Shelf next. They're not looking to lose the Top Shelf. I have to get this win on Sunday. I have to figure out a way. Despite everything that's happening, if I want my team to be in the playoffs, these next 2 matchups are very important. Like, as the owner of the Outsiders and as a UBA, as I'm studying the UBA and I'm seeing what's happening schedule-wise, I can't play with them. We cannot play with high caliber. We can't because we got critical role next. We slacked up in the beginning. We let a lot of shit happen that shouldn't have in the beginning as the outsiders, as the owner. I will take that. I will take that. I will even give you an inside scoop. First tour stop versus DSL. Super excited. Super excited for the tour stop. I can't wait. I'm we got DSL. That's like I tell people. DSL has so much respect for us as we are them. Because for number one in Georgia, not I would say the South, because even up north they're respected. DSL is the standard. They're their standard. We can deny it. We can act like it doesn't exist. We can hate all you want. DSL is the standard. Their team, they're the standard. And now that they're in their comfort zone, we're chasing them. Everybody in this Deep South division is chasing DSL. No matter what, even when they were third, even when they lost 38-2 at Lilburn, everybody was chasing. They are the standard. We don't need to go through their names. We all know who they have on that team. If they say we're going with all the top guns for the rest of the seasons, nigga, we better watch out. We better come to play. Because we already know what they're going to do. They're the standard, Rich. I'm sorry. They're what every team is trying to be. We already know what they are. They're the standard. They're the status quo. They're the perfect team. They're the team you want. And I'm not talking about their full roster. I'm talking about their hitters. We all know who they have. We don't need to go down the list of their names. If they decide to say, hey, guys, let's start, hey. If Amanda say, hey, or Tyrone say, hey, let's go out here and get this UBA title. You best believe you're gonna have a train of bowlers that's right behind them. So they're the standard that you're trying to be. You want that respect from not only just your local peers, but they're not even in the division up in North. They done been to Battle Bowl. I mean, they may not have been to Battle Bowl in the way you're thinking, but Tyrone, AJ, Juice, they $5,000 a man or a game. They've done that, and you think they can't come to a tour stop and bowl? Tyrone is as AJ, Tyrone, Juice. They've been there. You know what I'm saying? They've had money on the table. Like everybody always talks about, oh, money, money, money. They've had the money on the table, $5,000, $1,000 a man. What y'all trying to do? Okay, give me that. Easy work. They've done all the things. So they're the standard of what everybody is trying to be in the form of the respect of your peers and of people nationwide. The people know who they are. We have to understand, and I think y'all heard me say it earlier. Y'all heard me say this before. Respect your competition. It's plenty of times where I've had phone calls with Mr. Stevens. And he has to chastise me at times. Hey man, you know who I am? And sometimes he'll just walk up to me. You know who I am? You know how many singles championships I have? And then he look at me and say, how many you got? And I was, one. He's like, not enough. And he's absolutely right. So when you look at DSL, you can't, you have to bring your best. You have to bring your best on the floor, you have to bring your best off the floor. Because if your mind ain't right for that team, dog, you're gonna fail. If you ain't got the right people in there, you're gonna fail. So when we saw DSL, when we pulled DSL week 1, I said, yo, there's no better way to start the season. There is no better way to start the season. And you know what I did when we faced DSL? I said, yo, I looked at Daryl. I said, we gotta throw the young guns at him. We gotta throw them to the wolves. The perfect scenario for us, for the position that I was in, when I got young killers on my team that it's their first year. Justin Sunk. A lot of y'all don't know who that is yet. A lot of y'all will know who he is. His name is Justin Sunk. He bowled his first tour stop. I put him right out the gate, DSL. Push him off, right off the deep end. Go figure it out. I took a shot like 719. And let me bring my story back a little bit. So when we pulled them, I'm thinking, okay, we're at Douglasville. Yo, we gonna have we're local. It's Douglasville. It's DSL. They're gonna have their people in the back. We're gonna have our people in the back. It's gonna be loud. I can't wait. It was none of that. Man, I had car trouble. I think that Friday. And I'm sitting there like, you know what? Everybody going to this tour stop. I know I'm going to find me a ride. The Sunday morning, I'm calling people. Ain't nobody going to the tour stop. I'm stuck. Can't even get to the tour stop. I can't get to the tour stop with my team. So I'm there. I'm texting people trying to find out what's going on. Nobody is live. Ain't nobody there. Then I hear, okay, EK just walked in. I said, okay, cool. I'm getting text message. Hey, man, such and such may need to come out the lineup. Hey, y'all know the rules. You bowl 20 pin under the average. Get out of there. Get out of there. Yo, he won't get out. What you mean he won't get out? Who's there? Oh, EK back in. Put EK in. It's too late. So I get the score sheet, right? I look at the score sheet. Somebody on DSL bowls a 190. The story I heard is they looked to the back and they saw Jaime sitting there back there. Now, anybody know what Jaime could do? We ain't even, like I said, we ain't got a rundown DSL roster. If you on that roster, you on that roster for a reason. We don't need to know what Jaime come in, shoot 526 and 2. You know, and he shoot 526 and 2. And we sitting there arguing about coming out. We got 2-3 bowlers bowling under average. And then we lose the tour stop by 2 pins. 2 pins. We lost that tour stop. We lose that tour stop by 2 pins because I wasn't there and because we ain't have nobody there on there. We ain't have nobody who felt comfortable enough, which we all should feel comfortable with each other to say, hey, man, let me come in. You already under average and all of it. Hey, come on, man. Let me get this game. Let me bring it on for the team. You don't have a good look. And we already know Southern to Silent could be you can go to Southern to Silent and think that's your friend. And then the next time you go there, you find out y'all enemies. You know, Southern to Silent is one of those houses where if you don't bowl there on the regular, yeah, one weekend you can go there and you look amazing, and then you already know the next weekend you can look like shit. You know, so we lost by 2 pins. And those are the situations where you can't have, because now I'm looking at the back end of my schedule and I'm seeing a tougher schedule now. We have a tougher schedule than we did the front part. Because not only did we mess that up, you know, we also had that mix up that I messed up in week 2 at Lilburn. Now, as you can see, yes, we're able to fight back because, one thing about my team and one thing that I preach is, we're not out till we're out. Like we got the bowlers too, you know. Like we're on the mood that we gotta demand our respect and that's how every team is. Southern Asylum feels the same way. They're demanding their respect right now. They're number one total pins. They got the most total pins in the district. So that's why they're probably number one on Jason Hale. I mean, not number one, but that's probably why they're so high ranked on Jason Hale's top list. Like they got there for a reason. Now it's up to them to carry it the rest of the way, and that's what every team is doing. That's why I said this division is going to be tough for years to come. Because Tri-City, best believe Tri-City is going to do a better. They're gonna do a recruiting. Them guys already travel, so they travel to different alleys already. They travel to different tournaments. They're not just people who are. They're not just people who are just local bowlers. They bowl. So Tri-City is going to have better bowlers as it goes on. Same thing as Top Shelf, especially if we're going to have a Georgia division. They're going to start recruiting better. Like it's going to get tougher. And the competition is going to be better. So there's going to be definitely some places where you can bowl. But yeah, this division is going to be on fire all the way to the end. It's going to be on fire. Because like I said, you got Southern Asylum one, you got the Outsiders at number 3 at 126, High Caliber at 124, Southern Asylum at 122, Full Throttle at 116. One tour stop could mix and match all of that. All of that could be shaken up in one tour stop. Yep. Like my man Don said, you gotta have teamwork. Like that teamwork is awesome. I see you, Rich. Rich said, I don't look at it like that. I understand what you mean totally, but whoever is on the same pair as me can get it just like the next dude. First of all, I'm not bowling against you. I'm bowling against myself. Excuse me. I'm not bowling against you. I'm bowling against myself. First of all, I'm not bowling against you. I'm bowling against myself. What is on the wood? Yes, respect the great bowlers, of course, but that's all. And yes, I agree with you because you still got to throw your game. You still got to I think we're pretty much saying the same thing because just like you said, I still got to throw my game, and I like me versus anybody, but the confidence in me and the confidence that you have in yourself is because of the work you put in. Because you respect the competition that's out there and you can't go out there and play. So I definitely agree with you. And I think we're pretty much saying the same thing. Because like you said, you do have to show respect, but you also put in that work to also to feel like you're ready for that. Because we've had conversations. We know there's people that be like, oh my gosh, I'm bowling against such and such. Oh man. Like, hey, dog. Throw your ball. Do what you worked on. Do what you're prepared for. And don't get me wrong. Like, yo, it's the same thing. Like, yo, if I'm on the basketball court, I don't care if fucking LeBron James comes on the court. He still got to jump. He still got to shoot. He still got to pass. He still got to run. You just don't crown him just because he's there. So I'm with you on that. But hey. I'm with you, and Dwayne, like Mr. Montgomery, he's another one. Like he's one of my dogs that's out there. I put him out there a little bbit more consistently because I can see it in him. It's just like something. It's just like EK. He's another one. Like you could see it in him. A lot of people, I got Don on my team. A lot of my bowlers came off of Don Branch. Don is a tree out here that got a lot of branches that he helped coach, and they're all you can see it all in their eyes, man. Like you can really. Rich is another one. If Rich was on my team, as I know Mike and Brittany, I know they love having Rich on their team. Just like Casey, I know she loved having Ty Tillery on his team. You look at Ty, you look at Rich, you look at Wayne, you look at EK in their eyes, and you say how much you got, what how much you want to put before you even get the sentence out, they looking at you crazy and say where, when, and why. You know, like, and that's what you want. Like that's the type of bowlers you want, because not only that, they're gonna feed in your other bowlers. They're gonna see it. They're gonna see it in the other bowlers. I mean, your other bowlers are gonna see it in them. You know, and they're gonna make your team hungry. You know, it's gonna make your team hungry, and that's what I got going on right now. I got a bunch of people fighting to get into. I got a great problem right now. I have a great problem right now. You know, and that's because I got a lot of hungry cats out there. I got like some. I just left some in the bowling alley. They probably still in there, knowing them. You know what time? I'm willing to bet they're still in the bowling alley. Like yo, like some like and let me tell you something. I left some pot bowling, and I ain't talking about for no $20 neither. Like and that's that hunger. Like some people say they get hungry, you know, by you know, they get hungry by pot bowling, you know, and Sump is one of them ones out there. You know what I'm saying? Like yo, we got there's some teams out here with some dogs on them. Just like Top Shelf. I can't think of the guy's name, but they got a couple of dogs on you know, because I'm gonna tell you something. Let me tell you something. One thing for certain, you know, one thing for sure, two things for certain. When you in there with a dog, you get separated. You get separated. Them pups and them dogs get separated in there. I tell people, so I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I joined the Wednesday League, a Beat the House League. I have one of the top 3 averages in that league. I joined that league for a confidence boost. It's almost like when college teams play, when these D1 teams be playing these D2 teams and beating the hell out of them before the season start to build some confidence. That's what I kind of use Wednesday for. And everybody be like, oh, Trail, I can't wait to play you. And you can even ask Jacob on here. Jacob be like, oh, I can't wait to play you. Oh, I can't wait. I'd be like, yo, I'm going to let you know. Y'all, hey, it's a dog over here. You call my name, you call me out. If you call me out while I'm on the lanes, it's a dog in here. He don't come out during league, but it's a dog in here. It's a reason why my team is the way they are, is because by me, somebody had to set the foundation. My foundation is hard work. Hard work. How hard are you working? Make me put you in a tour stop. That's what your owners want you to do. Make me put you in a tour stop. Post your score. Let me see what you've been doing. Trust me. All my bowlers, before the tour stops coming up, I'm looking at your scores. I'm in the league secretary. I'm pulling you up. And if you're a good owner, all the owners doing the same thing. Oh, man, I haven't heard nothing for such and such in a while. Let me pull up, see what he's doing in the league secretary. Make me put you in the lineup. And it goes for me, too. I want to be in the lineup now. The way I've been bowling lately, I want to be in the lineup. Earlier this season, I didn't want to be in the lineup. That's why I wasn't. I want to be in the lineup now. I got to make myself put myself in the lineup. I'm the same way. I don't deserve, just because I'm the owner, I don't deserve to be in the lineup. I got Dwayne, EK, Sump, JoJo, Don, Trey, all them bowling better than me right now. And I'm pissed off about it because I can't even get in my own lineup. That's the mentality the outsiders have. And I know other teams have that same mentality. You got to, make me put you in the lineup. And don't get me wrong, I got some hungry ones right behind them. Bama, Steve Furby, Tarika, Levinas. They want Tony. They call me. I put out the lineup. They call me how I do my lineups, everybody knows what lineups they're bowling way ahead of time. So I kind of book early. Like I'm already booking for April. Like that's where I'm at now. We already got February and March already booked. You know what I'm saying? So people already know where they're bowling. You know? So I got dogs right behind them that's coming up. Steve Furby, Tarika, Tony, Levinas, Miss Juicy. I got bowlers that's itching to be in the lineup. Every time they see a tour stop coming, hey, am I in the lineup? I told you what tour stops you're bowling. Hey, you in the lineup? Oh, I'm sorry, I ain't mean to. But no, you're not. I love it. I love it when you text me and say, hey, am I bowling this tour stop? Because at least thing I know you want to bowl. You want to bowl. But like, yo, like it just comes off of pure hard work. Like that's if I can't even get in my own lineup, that's a good problem to have. Because now I want to bowl. Like I'm on one now. Like I'm bowling a lot better right now. Like I'm on one. Like and when you call me out while we on the lane side by side, hey, let me tell you something. If you watching me bowling from afar, ask Jacob. He up here. He'll tell you. He'll tell you what happened to Pat a couple of weeks ago. Yo, it's different when you call my name. When you call my name and we lined up on it, don't call my name and you way over there. I'm not listening to you. Like, dog, I gotta focus here. Like, I'm chilling in league. I'm trying to make sure I stay firm. I'm trying to make sure what I've worked on is working. I'm not trying to do nothing. I'm trying to make sure I hit my average so my team can win. I'm trying to get my team in the best position. But if you you call my name, ask Jacob. Jacob ain't ask Jacob. Ask Jacob. He'll tell you. When you call my look, same thing I tell Trig, and the same thing I tell him on that Wednesday night league. Hey, it look different when you in front of it. Hey, Rich, you bowled the outsiders before. You bowled that last tour stop. Let her know it's different when you in front of it. It looks different. When you see it from over there and that was that struck. Hey, it looked different when you in front of it. It looked different when you in front of it. That's what I'm trying to say. We got EK. You step in front of EK. You can talk now, but it looked different when you in front of him. Mr. Montgomery, JoJo, it looked different. It looked different when you in front of it. I'm here to tell you, and that's just not just with my team. That's when you awake them dogs and you think it's sweet. It looked different when you in front of it. I mean, shot 525 on 2 on us. That shit looked different when you in front of it. You can't do nothing. Hey, let me tell you what it looked like. You look to, I got him. To look, he's stringing him. To damn, man. To wow. You go through all them phases when you're in front of it. You go through all them phases. You get mad, sad, and then you start enjoying it. When you start enjoying it, you know you lost. Man, you bowling good, man. Wow, man, you've been working. It look different when you in front of it. I'm trying to tell you, them dogs. I'm telling you. So when you call them out, when you start calling people out, yo, hey, make sure them shoes tied tight. Yeah, that's what it is, yo. You get mad, you get sad, then you get excited for the people you bowling against. Cause that it's different when you in front of it though. But that's what it's going to be like for the Deep South going forward. Like the Deep South, yo, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like any 9 we take out the Deep South, I'm willing to take anybody in the UBA. Period. Yo, this district is going to be tough years to come. Top Shelf Stunners is figuring it out. They're talking to the right people. They're figuring it out. The Reapers, they know what to do. They just working on their personnel. No offense, Reapers, but if you feel like you can beat up on the Reapers and Top Shelf, you better do it now. Because years to come, they're not going to be this same sorry team that you could just put anybody on the lineup and expect to beat them. No, this division is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And what I would love for this division to do is to have more of a mouthpiece for ourselves, especially on the Southeast page or on all these UBA pages. Anytime you see something, we need to start demanding and having them have more events out here, so we don't always have to travel. So they know what it's like in our backyard. I'm telling you, dog, it's man, that's another subject for another day. But them houses ain't here. Them houses ain't like ours. Them houses. Them houses. There's a reason why they get drunk like that. You notice. You know what I do notice about Georgia, and what I notice about North Carolina, South Carolina. North Carolina and South Carolina have a lot of fucking drunks because they can bowl well, and they can bowl well, and they don't have a transition. I've bowled 8 gamers out there. I've bowled 5 games. I've bowled 6 games with step ladders out there and barely had to move. That's why they can get drunk. You ever notice that? Like North Carolina, South Carolina, especially when they come down here to the big tournaments and stuff, like when we did the Deep South, man, they was getting drunk and they was like, oh, I'm bowling so bad, I might as well get drunk. No, that's your norm. I've seen you out there. You can get drunk and you can throw the same shot because you don't have to move and you don't have to pay attention because there's no transition. You ever notice we don't have no bowlers that get drunk out here in bowl? I'm talking about like sloppy drunk and bowl, because if you miss that fucking transition, bye-bye to your set out here in Georgia. Out here. Miss a transition if you want to out here. Our transitions are real. Sunday night at Austell, them transitions are real. Lil Burn, third game, 5-man team. By that 4th frame, shit, you better move 5, 6, 7 left. You know, that's why I told when we faced Tri-City in Austell, and I told no offense to Tri-City, I told my whole team, yo, if we face a South Carolina team in Austell, I'm not worried. I'm not worried because I know what Austell is. Them dudes was on that first game. Me and EK was back there watching. They were on the struggle bus early. Struggle bus early. And yo, they put an event out here. Man, Trey, I went to Charlotte, and I'm looking at that shot, and I'm looking at all these people complaining. Oh, this ain't the normal shot. This ain't, man, I'm looking at all that oil up there, and they talking about this the hardest house in the man. Stop. Man, stop. No, this is the hardest house in the South, in North Carolina. Talking about AMF University. Man, stop. That's all we got out here is AMF and Bolero. No, out there, Rich, they had all the oil out there in Charlotte at an AMF. And they had a nerd talking about this the worst house. The shot held up pretty good. It held up. Y'all shot held up. Shoot. Only thing being held up out here on our shot is your hand when somebody leave a 5-pin because they don't went through the fucking face because they missed the transition. It doesn't say you can't get drunk out here. You get drunk, you're gonna miss that goddamn transition if you want to. That's why they can drink like that in North and South Carolina. That's why they can drink like that. They get sloppy out there. They be all stumbling, still throwing strikes. Shit, out here, you drink like that at Austell if you want to. Nigga, your head gonna be spinning. You gonna have a hangover before you hit the car. Shoot, you. Hey man, I want you. And once again, I put the bet out there. Don't tell. Hey, I put my money where my mouth is. We put the bet out there. I told them their 9 versus our 9 tour stop style. Your house and our house. 300 a man. I haven't heard anything yet. That's how much we're not worried. It's only like 3 or 4 teams out there that I think could compete with us. Like, yo, like it's crazy. It's crazy out there, man. I was just looking at that shot, just listening to people complain about that shot. I'm like, ooh, man, y'all lucky I ain't bowling, boy. Man, how I'm bowling now? How I'm bowling now? I'm 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 almost to the point where I had that hot streak last year, but on a more consistent basis from me working on a couple of stuff and how I'm bowling. Wednesdays I'm averaging 229. Thursdays, these last couple of weeks, I've been averaging 215. Mondays, I'm at around 211, 213. Bowling some of the best bowling I've done in my life, and I can't even get in my lineup. That's a good problem. The outsiders have a good problem right now. You know, and I don't know how a lot of other teams, are doing, because I don't really talk to a lot of the owners in our district. I talk to a lot of owners outside of our district. But yo, we got some guns, dog. We got some yo. This division, this division is going to be this division is going to be tough for years to come. I'm telling you. And you new teams, Tri-City, Full Throttle, Top Shelf Stunners. It's not the fact that we're dismissing you, or we're not we're not thinking of you, or hold on, is this the one? Nope, that ain't the one. It's not none of that. It's the fact that you got to prove it to us. You can't come in here and get no respect. I'm sorry to say it like this, but you just can't come in here and get no respect just because you joined the UBA. So people join the UBA every day, B. People join every day, B. It's just like us. We had to earn our respect. We had to earn it. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. Man, hold on. I'm trying to post this picture. Man, won't let me download it. Oh, crap. All right. Oh well, but yeah, I just got to. Let me see if I can do it like this. But yeah, you gotta, that respect gotta be earned. Like, you can't just because you joined in, yes, and you have y'all. Some of y'all do have a great team, but yeah, some of y'all have a great team, but it ain't enough. I mean, you gotta prove. You can't just walk in here and be like, "Oh, take me serious, take me." Who are you? What have you done? You know, people thought we was jokes. People thought, they didn't take us serious at first. Even the first year, shoot, we built a great team. We missed the playoffs by one stop. We had some controversy too. We had 36 points taken away from us for a jersey infraction, and we ended up missing the playoffs. But that second year, we came back, made the playoffs. Now people were saying, "Okay, Martrell, okay, now we hear you. Now we see you." Now we respect you. Y'all made the playoffs. Okay. Y'all doing some damage. You walking out in front of people when they on front six. Hey, now they see us. We already know, like, yo, you can't like so when we're doing our predictions, top shelf, Tri-City and Full Throttle, yo, make us a believer. Show us you got that dog too, because yo, best believe we coming. We can't we're in the mindset of we can't lose to these teams because y'all the new ones. Y'all the little brother, y'all the little sister. We can't lose to y'all. So it's no disrespect when we dismiss y'all, or there's no disrespect when we don't pick y'all. It's just, yo, you haven't done nothing, you haven't done enough yet. You know, Full Throttle, we was like, uh-oh, do we have to, I can't lie. A lot of us was watching, sitting back like, hey, look at the teams they played. They didn't really play anybody. And then, and people was even us, even this year, people was looking at us like, can they get out their own way? I think Kevin asked that in one of his podcasts. Can the outsiders get out their own way? So even us, we still feel like we have stuff to prove. But you got to understand, we put in that work. So yeah, you can't just come in here. Yeah, we hear you, we see you. There's a standard. There's a standard in the UBA. People are paying attention to our division. All of y'all. DSL, Critical Role, High Caliber, Full Throttle, Southern Asylum, all y'all was considered as one of the top teams on that list that Hell puts out every year. I mean, every after every tour stop. All y'all was on that list. So Full Throttle, like we seen, the reason why, okay, if you asking why Critical Role ain't in that same belt, because majority of them came from another team. They have a great foundation with Panda, with Sam, with Dan, and a lot of and Sam, the owner of Critical Role, he went to Battle Bowl. He was in the semifinals last year with Complete Anarchy. Him, Dan, Darnell, most of their team, Miss Michelle. Not only that, Michelle has an eagle. I'm thinking like everybody don't have an eagle. Michelle has an eagle. She finished first she finished first in nationals. She has an eagle. Sam went to Battle Bowl last year. So they're proven. Critical Role is proven because they put in the work from another team. Tri-City, you can say the same thing. They have it figured out. I think Tri-City will make a big step next season. I think Top Shelf will make a big step next season. I think Full Throttle will have it figured out by next season. Our division is going to get tougher. Our division is going to get tougher. And if you think the work stops just because you won it last year or you won it this year, no, the years to come, it's going to get tougher. You have to make a foundation for your team. You have to have an identity for your team. You have to, or you're not going to make it. And that's for us all. I already told you. I feel like the standard is DSL. Like they have the respect from anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like they have the lineup. They have proven bowlers. They've been there before. They've done it. That's why everybody keeps saying, oh, it depends if they show up. You better hope they don't show up. You better pray they don't show up. Because if they do, you better have them dogs with you. Because that's the team, Critical Role. That's a team that turns dogs and they turn pups into dogs and dogs into pups. Critical Role, Tri-City beat them 38-2. But little do they know, hey, You got to come back and see me. And they came back and saw him at Austell. And they beat him 38-2. Like, hey, like, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. But yo, the real is back. Like, that's what good teams do. You're not gonna beat them twice. You're not gonna beat them twice. As I said, we if we face DSL again, if the outsiders face DSL again, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tougher than that first time. Like, we dropped the ball. We had him. We dropped the ball. We had him. We lost to him by 2 pins. We dropped the ball. We beat ourselves by not doing status quo. We had a couple of bowlers bowling bad that should have came out that never did. That ain't DSL's fault. That's our fault. They had a bowler that didn't feel like they were bowling up to par. They put Jaime in and he shot 525 at 2. 525 for 2 is crazy. That's what they do. They already know what to do. That person came out with no problems. That person looked behind them, reached their hand back and said, tag me in. I'm hurting. Then the rock came in. Rock bottom. 1, 2, 3. That's what they did. You know? Yeah, they sat down happily. She sat down happily and said, watch this. Watch what my homeboy about to do. Watch what this dog about to do. My bad. Watch what this killer about to do. She said, I will gladly sit down. And my man proceeded to shoot 525 for 2. But also, you gotta learn how to lose. You gotta learn them lessons. We learned a valuable lesson that day. We learned a valuable lesson that day. You know, like, yo, I had to tell my team, yo, we all empowered. You know, a lot of times, and I get it with the UBA, when you're new on the team or you may not have been in a leadership role, but I tell my team, yo, if you see something like that, yo, you empowered. If I'm not there, because unfortunately, you know, we all have lives and we can't go to every stop. But yo, you're empowered. Like, if I'm not there, somebody got to step up, because it's not, let me tell you, it's not about this. It's on the back. It's not about the back of the jersey. This is what matters, what's on the front. So if you got a problem because, oh, I drove all this way, I don't want to get out the lineup and all of this stuff, the UBA ain't for you, because every day ain't our day. Every day ain't our day. Everybody on the team knows, hey, can we go with 10? Oh, we can't go with 10? All right, I'll be that 10th man. How many of y'all willing to be the 10th man? I had a conversation with Don before. Hey, Don. Hey, Trail, I'm going to be there just in case we need somebody to sub. I appreciate that, bro. You right there. I'll tell my officers, hey, Don is the first sub. Just like Wayne. Just like Mr. Montgomery. He hit me up. Hey, Trail. Hey, we need somebody for Augusta. I'm ready. We had a mishap. Something happened. Hey, Mr. Hey, I need you Sunday. Hey, I was coming anyway. That's my nigga. My dog. That's an outsider. And just because you can't make, like, everybody on the team knows, yo, just because you come out, that don't mean you ain't bowling the next stop. It just wasn't your day. What you worried about, the $50? Hey, here you go, dog. It's no sweat, dog. Hey, when can you bowl the next one? Hey, just today just wasn't your day. Had it plenty of times. Now, what sucks is when you have those days and then there's nobody behind you to help. That's the difference between league and what's supposed to be UBA. That's the difference between the good teams and the teams that's just existing. Because every team that I've seen that made the playoffs, and that even the playoffs, every team that was around us had about 5 to 10 players with them that wasn't bowling. The team that we lost to, the Beach Brawlers, they had 10. They were only there because they had a first round bye. So they were only there for one stop. One for the second round, because we bowled the first round and the second round the same day. So as the outsiders, we won the first round. We lost the second round. When we lost the second round by less than 20 pins. Oh, it's crazy. Had to come back. But the Beach Ballers had about 10 people in the back that wasn't even bowling, that they came with. They had other teams that came with more people. And that's the difference between the good teams and the teams that's just existing. I've never seen DSL come with less than 5 people. Right. They came with a lot of people, and they were loud. They had when you go into the bowling alley, everybody knows especially with the UBA, they play music. The UBA has a music speaker on, right? So they're playing music. You can hear the music. You're kind of vibing. These jokers came with their own speaker, their own playlist. The motherfucking playlist was so good. I'm in the back like, hold on. That ain't. I was like, hey, we outside. Like, hey, I'm trying to snap out. But the playlist was so fucking good. I'm back there jamming like, damn, I ain't hear this song in a minute. They had the 90s mix going. And they had them all pumped and ready. You know? But guess what? I learned from that. And that's what you have to do, and not just in the UBA, but in bowling. Like, every situation is a learning experience. Like tonight, the approaches were sticky because of the weather. It's humid out there. There's nothing the tech guy can do. But can you adjust after that? Now that you've experienced it, what are you going to do the next time it happens? Is your bag already prepared? Are you going to the pro shop this weekend to make sure you got enough sliding pads? Or are you hitting up Brandon Lupo, who sells his own brand of sliding pads? You know, are you hitting him up? Because I think now he's working at the Lupo now is working at the Lupo's now working at the Norcross Pro Shop for McCorvey's World. So are you hitting him up? You know, say, hey dog, I heard you got these sliding pads that work real well. You know, everyone who I know who got his sliding pads, they love them. They're like, man, this is the slide I've been looking for. Like, are you doing the necessary things? Hey man, I saw you sliding. What you got? What you got on your feet? Oh, okay. That's what tournament bowlers do. That's what the good teams do. Like they figure it out. And that's what I'm telling y'all, man. I'll be talking to these teams. Top Shelf is figuring it out. Tri-City knows what their problem is. I haven't had too many conversations with Full Throttle, but I can see the work. They not only do I see the work, I also know that they also came off of other UBA teams. So they know the foundation. Southern Asylum been here before. They beat the best teams. You know, same thing as High Caliber, same thing as us, same thing as Critical Role, and we already know who DSL is. Their DSL is the gateway. They're the status quo. They're the elites, both together and individuals. Because when you see them jokers at the damn at tournaments, you know, shit, I got to get through one of these. The only reason why I'm in the UBA is because I kept when I first got out here, I kept seeing that fucking DSL jersey every fucking where. Everywhere I fucking went, I saw a deal like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this? What is like? Is this a cult? Like, what is like? It was DSL jerseys everywhere till I finally asked, what is DSL? What is it? They're the one of the top respected teams, so they're no. But there's plenty of other teams that's out here, man. That it is going to be a tougher division, and if you are in the UBA or a tournament bowler, you have to, you have to get your game right. You have to step up everything, man. Cause it's you gonna because what's gonna end up happening? I've seen it before. You're gonna call out somebody, and they're gonna try to spare you, and then you're gonna keep running your mouth, and then they're gonna say, "Okay, lace them up." And just like I said earlier, you're gonna go from mad to sad to in awe, watching them bowl beat the shit out of you when you bowling because you were ill prepared because you think it's a game. You think you acting like these people ain't put hours of work in. Look at it. Everybody in here could actually make the playoffs. Top shelf at 90. They get 30. They get 30 and 30. Like I said, who top shelf? They got Tri-City. Let's say they take 30 from Tri-City. And then who they got next? They take 30 from Tri-City. And then they got High Caliber next. They fuck around and catch High Caliber. They fuck around and catch High Caliber slipping. Hey, they right in the playoff hunt. Like our division is not sweet. It is a tough. Everybody can watch these predictions and be mad. Oh my god, I didn't get picked. They didn't pick me to win, and you ain't winning. Like like I said, top shelf, full throttle, Tri-City. Don't worry about it. Keep bowling until they pick you to win. Make us pick you. That's what Critical Role did. Critical Role made us pick them. Hey, we the new team. Yeah, I've been on another UBA team, but I'm coming for y'all next. Came out, Lil Burn, 38-2. Oh, can y'all hear me? Somebody said the sound went out. Okay. Somebody said this. But yeah, Critical Role came out second tour stop 38-2 against one of the killers in this league, DSL. So yeah, people was high on them. People was high on them early because they made us pick them. A lot of y'all crying and we ain't do nothing yet. That's why I got all right. Who was I talking to earlier this season? I don't know who I was talking to this season. And I had to tell them, I'm not. It was like, oh, we gonna win the division. You can have the division. You can have the division. You want to win the division? Fine. I'm trying to get the Battle Bowl. As long as I'm in the playoffs, top 3. I got to be the top 3 in my division. And right now, I'm being honest with you. We the top 3 in our division, but I ain't comfortable because I got four teams breathing down my neck. We at 126, High Caliber at 124, Southern Asylum at 122, Full Throttle at 116, Tri-City at 94, Top Shelf at 90. They breathing down our necks. You can get 40 in a tour stop. We can't sleep. None of these teams. Like I just said it a little earlier. The Outsiders, High Caliber, Southern Asylum, Full Throttle. We want to be taken serious. These next two stops, we got to take it serious. Yo, all the crying, all the this and that and that and this, all of that. Yo, that after the first position round, ain't nobody trying to hear none of that. It's playoffs, battle bowl. Period. You can have a division. I don't give a fuck. I ain't trying to win a division. I'm trying to get the battle bowl. That's where the money at. I'm trying to get the battle bowl. I want to experience that. I want to look Murder Inc. in the face and be like, yo, we here. This shit is cupcake, nigga. We ain't them. But I gotta get through. I gotta get through this tough division first. I gotta get through. I gotta get through these guys. I can't even. I gotta get to the top 3. I gotta make sure my team stay at the top 3. Because we got High Caliber followed by Critical Role. We can't sleep. We can't sleep on them. We got to be prepared. We got to be prepared. Yo, it's go time now, yo. Second round, second half. But yeah, and those that, like I said, those that want to bowl and those that want to get in the lineup, yo, make your owner put you in the lineup by showing out on the lanes. Like I said, I don't know if any other owners do it. I do it. Hey, let me see what he bowling with. Let me go in the league secretary. Let me see what he been averaging there. Let me see what he been doing. Yo, ask Daryl, ask Marvell, ask Tarika. I know my bowlers. I know what kind of lane conditions they work on. I know who they like on their lanes. I know who I need to talk to. I know who I need to motivate. Yo, I'm not just putting lineup. I'm just not putting people in there. Yo, anybody who touches my lineup deserves to be in the lineup. Just because you had a bad day, that just means you had a bad day. But like I tell people, I say, if you see me bowling in my lineup, it's been a problem. Because I don't even make my lineups because I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough yet. I'm not even good enough to make my own lineups. And the crazy part is I have bowlers that surpassed me, that started before me and didn't have the average that I had. And they put in the work and they surpassed me. Now I got to go back into the gym and get right. I got to get practice right. I got to work on different things. I got to work on more zones. I got to take Tuesday Sport Shot serious because it teaches me that I have to move left. I have to be firm, and I can't leap the ball out. This ain't adult bumper bowl. This ain't fucking Stone Mountain Stars and Strikes where I can just send it out and I know it's going to come back. Nah. Because I don't know if I'm going to go to a house where I'm going to get that same thing. I've never been to a house like that. So why am I practicing there? Or why am I not practicing other places? Like, yo. So like I said, one thing for sure we're gonna do is we definitely gonna get the pot games back going. What I'm gonna try to do with the pot games, and I like how we did it the last time. Even if you didn't want to pot bowl and you just wanted to come out, we're gonna have lanes beside us for you could just practice. We did that last time also. So people that want to just come and practice and just maybe want to just watch and be in the atmosphere. But I encourage you to get in it. But if you can't afford it, don't get in it. Hey, don't. Hey man, let me tell y'all this too. I'm gonna let everybody know. I gotta get some logistics set up, but we're probably gonna start it in March. And I'm gonna rotate it. So I want to probably do Lilburn, Conyers, Delk, even Norcross. Let's go to a house where, even if it's not in our favor, because shoot, we may go to a house that's like that, like even Norcross. I'm gonna see if we can set something in all those. I'm gonna see. But yeah, we gonna bring them dogs back out here, man. We got to, because iron sharpens iron, and yeah, I'm about to close out. For those of you who had just joined or joined a little late, this was the question earlier. I would love to see what y'all comments are on this. If you had to blame somebody, if everyone on the team closes the 10th frame, even the 200 bowler that only shoots 170 that game, but the person with the highest score on the team does not close the 10th frame and y'all lose by 12 points, who does that loss fall on? Who does that loss fall on? I'm going to read it again. If everyone on the team closes the 10th frame, even the 200 average bowler that only shoots 170 that game, but the person with the highest score does not close the 10th frame and your team lose by 12 pins, who does the loss fall on? And we're not playing the team game. You got to pick somebody. You got to say either it's the 170, the guy who shoots the 170, or the guy who has the highest score but doesn't close the 10th frame but opens in the 10th frame. We got to pick one. We know it's a team sport. We know we all saying, we all can agree that we're all going to say yes, it's a team effort. But if who does the loss falls on? He said everyone, because no one shot at 300. Because Fresh and Trig was arguing about this in the bowling alley, and I thought this was a good question. If you missed my answer, I say it falls on the person who opens. If you open in the 10th frame and you're the only one that opened on the 10th frame, it's your fault. If you're the only one that opens in the 10th frame, because that means you had a chance to win. And we all know 10 frames is when the games are won, not 1 through 9. 10 frames is when they won in my book. Rock said the 170. That's what Trig said. Somebody said the 170 because if he bowls average, then it doesn't even get there. But shit happens. My thing is, I told the story of Marvell. Marvell Battle is a good buddy of mine. One thing I will say, no matter how Marvell bowls, he gonna close that 10th frame. And that's what you want out of your anchor. You want your anchor to close on that 10th frame. So that was my opinion. I think if you had a chance to win and the ball is in your court, I think that's who it falls on. So I'm gonna read it one more time. If everyone on the team closes the 10th frame, even the 200 bowler that only shoots 170, but the person with the highest score opens in the 10th frame and they lose by 12 points, who does that loss falls on? And you got to pick one. Is it the 170 bowler? They had a couple of people say it was the 170 bowler because if he bowls average, then that doesn't matter. And then we have people that says even if you have the highest score and you don't close on the 10th frame, that's a big problem also. And that's where I stand with it. What up? What up, Mel? Yeah, if you have to close those 10 frames for me. That's the thing. Because that's something I worked on. I don't care how I bowl. If I bowl bad, my focus now is making sure I close 10 frames. So I think that's a great conversational question, I don't care. I like, somebody mentioned this earlier too. Rock said, what if the person was on a 300 pace and opens in the 10th frame? If we lose by 12, I'm still, in my eyes, and like I said earlier, we all know it's a team sport. It's on the team, but this is just for conversational purposes. Just for conversational purposes. If you don't close the 10th frame and we lose, I'm looking at, because I look at myself that way. If if you don't close that 10th frame, if you don't close that, if I bowl whatever the score may be, 260 something, if I open in the 10th, if going front 9 and I open in the 10th and we lose by 12, I'm not looking at my team like, dang, y'all didn't bowl with me. No, I'm looking at myself. I should have closed the 10th frame. Well, this was a great, because this almost got heated in the bowling alley earlier today. Mel said 10th frame. That's left open, yeah. Because if everybody on the team, closes the 10th but you, and you lose by 12, ooh, ooh, ooh. That 260, that 250, that 240 don't mean shit because we lost. That's when you care about the loss. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. I think I've had a conversation with you, right, Jacob, about this. I don't care what I shoot. I can shoot 800. If we lose, that 800 is nothing. I don't even want to sign the paperwork for it. If we I don't care what if I feel like I don't close the 10th frame and we lost, that's on me. Yeah, I'm with you, Rock. I'm gonna blame myself too. I'm gonna blame myself. And some people felt like this. Some people felt like, if he averages 200 and he shoots 120, I'm sorry, 170, then it's his fault because he should have bowled that. But I think this was a great question from Trig and Reggie as they were going back and forth. So, but yeah, we getting ready to wrap up in here. It's 2:30 in the morning. I said I wasn't gonna hold hold too late, but we already been up here 2.5 hours. Um, let me see what you done said. On the low, everybody knew the open 10th lost the game, but I'm the anchor. I always see my efforts and the cost of the game. I take the blame. I agree with you. I think as the competitor in us, and I think what Don is saying here too is something I said earlier. If I got the ball in my hands for us to win, I want to knock it down. Like I don't even want to leave it to chance. Like it's if you give me the ball with the game on the line, I'm trying to knock it down. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no in between. There's no this, lucky or bad luck. None of that. No, I didn't perform. I feel the same way. Mel said, but I also feel like if I'm a 200 bowler and I shoot a 170, I'm blaming myself because I couldn't close frames. And I get that. And you're right. And that goes the same thing like Don just said. If I see I open the frame that I should have, I think I remember there was a time um, I shot maybe like 240 something, but during one of the frames I opened and missed a fucking 9 pin or something easy like that. And we ended up losing the game. And I'm looking back at that 9 pin like, God damn, like that's an easy setup. So I the same thing, Don, kind of similar to what Don was saying. And I definitely, get that. But great questions, man. If y'all got any more questions like this that are great topics, great, just conversation pieces, definitely hit me up in my inbox. Or if you see something in there, give us more things to talk about on here. I love it. But I want to wish y'all a good night. Tomorrow's Friday. Just to let you know, those that are going to Augusta, there is a tournament out there. I think being thrown by Shot Show. Um, let me see where it is. I mean, not where it is, but what time it is. Man, I do not see the flyer. So if anybody in here know what time that tournament is, hmm. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mel said he get released on February 9th. Uh-oh. I don't know where they put that flyer at. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. let me see if I have saved it. Oh, here it is. Okay. It's $50. The singles Saturday, January 27th, start at 2. Check-in is at 2 p.m. and they start at 3 p.m. The format is 3 games moving one pair to the right after each game. Handicap is 70% of 240, which is the UBA average. Highest USBC average. Oh shit. I'm gonna get some sticks. $5 scratch and handicap brackets, $10 scratch and handicap eliminator, $20 scratch option. At Bolero Augusta, I'm trying to see if he has the shot. They said they're only limited to 60 entries, so get your deposit, $20 deposit, hold your spot. It says they're playing on the tour stop pattern, so it should be a house shot. So looking forward to it. We are out. Once again, appreciate y'all. If y'all can kindly do me a favor and let me post it in the comments real quick. If y'all could kindly do me a favor and go to my YouTube page, which I'm going to put in the comments, and go ahead and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel because we are also live on YouTube. And hold up, let me put that in here. All right, I just put it in there, but please go ahead and like and subscribe to the YouTube. I see Brandon was up here. Sorry, Brandon, we about to get off in a little bit. Appreciate you joining, but we was just talking about your foot pads, of all the complaining that people was doing because of the sticky approaches today. What's good with you? So yeah, make sure if your approaches are sticky like they was today. I know Brandon Lupo has a great shoe pad that he does have that definitely could have helped in today's conditions. But those are the things that you do have to get prepared for, because when it rains and it's humid, it's known to be sticky like that. And Brandon, I want to get with you, dog, because like I was just saying, I want to start back doing the pot bowl games. And this time I want to move it. I want to do Lilburn, Conyers, Delk, and Norcross. And I know you're pretty good at the formats, and if I handle the logistics and we tag team it like that, but I'm gonna call you and we'll work something out with that. Like I'll handle all the the scheduling and the scheduling and the logistics of it. And if you can handle like kind of the format like we kind of did it the last time we did it, where we set up first, second, or how it should run. I know you're pretty good and well established and have great advice, as you helped me in the past with a lot of the formatting. So we definitely want to start back those pot bowl games that we had last Christmas. So, but all right, everyone, appreciate y'all tuning in to the outside. Tell everybody to answer the question in the comments. But y'all have a good night.